Hey again, YouTubers, it's Brank here. Brank playing some Black Desert Online, some BDO. Coming at you with a guide on getting started and cash for getting started in the game. So I know a lot of people have some questions, and I actually had this as a request of how do I get started in the game and get some silver to kind of get myself established, and then you can buy gear or whatever else you want to do. So this is going to be a very basic guide on how to get silver when you're just getting started in the game. So brand new character that you just got started with, you did the first few quests, and you're wondering, how the heck do I make money in this game? This is going to be a guide on how to get that started. So let's go. So basically, what you want to do when you get your character, leveled up a little bit, do the first few quests, you're going to, get through the first few towns. You want to start making some money, because now you want to start buying some gear. You want to start buying some of those black stones so you can up your armor. Whatever it is, you need to start earning money in the game. There's lots of different ways to do it. This is just going to cover one simple way that I've found when you're just getting started on making money in the game. So what you want to do is come to any of the towns that have a material vendor to buy your processing items. And what you're going to want to buy, like I said, I'm going to try to keep this really simple. What you're going to want to buy is butcher knives. 15, I would say probably 16, I believe it is, butcher knives. Pick up the butcher knives, buy 16 of them. And there's a reason for this. You're going to buy 16 of these butcher knives. Then what you're going to do is head out to the hills. I'll show you an example here in Heidel. The material vendor I bought is right down here. I'm going to head up into these hills just to the kind of northwest of town. And there's tons and tons of gray foxes. So let's go out here with my new guy that I just started yesterday. And I'll show you basically the route and what you do with those butcher knives. So while you're running out here, you can equip, if you have it on auto run, you can equip your butcher knife. I've got a steel butcher knife now, but you'll have the dull butcher knives until you reach beginner 10 in your gathering skill, which is why you want to get about 16 of those, because I think it's about 16 dull butcher knives that you're going to need to go through to get your skill up high enough to be able to equip that steel butcher knife, which makes a big difference and speed on gathering this stuff. What I'm showing you though is the numbers that I'm talking about here are when you're just getting started. So as you get higher level in processing, it's actually going to speed up the amount of money you're going to be able to make. So as you can see, there's tons of these gray foxes out here. All you're going to do is start hacking these guys apart. Hopefully PETA isn't watching this video, because yeah, that was kind of brutal. But you're going to hack those gray wolves, or gray foxes, sorry, apart, and then you're going to right click them to start gathering on them after you equip your dull butcher knife, right? So now your dull butcher knife is, you grab the meat off of that fox and you keep going. You just keep going until you are pretty much out of energy. Gathering, and I just did this on this character, so I know my numbers are fairly accurate. For the gathering speed on these. What you're going to end up with is, if you have enough energy, you're going to be able to get about 200 meat in 30 minutes. That's a rough estimate, and that's with the dull butcher knife, just starting out, rank 1, no increased collecting tools or anything like that. No bonuses, basically. You should be able to get, actually it's about 150, I think is what I ended up gathering. It's about 150 in about 30 minutes. So you're going to cut all these gray wolves down, gather as much meat as you possibly can. Then you're going to run back to town, and in Heidel, I'll show you where we're going. It's right down the main street. So everything's very close. We're not going too far out of town to collect this stuff. We're not going too far away to get all this stuff set up. This is a very simple process. So you've gathered your 150, or roughly, how much ever meat you can gather. Come over to the marketplace, talk to this little person here and put your item on the marketplace by clicking the My Registered item, register an item, right-click the meat. You could hit F to put the maximum amount, or click the button that says maximum quantity, and then click OK. Now here's what you want to keep in mind at this point. Hit the button that says maximum, because on the meat, you can almost always get the maximum price for this. So always hit the maximum button, because this stuff sells out like crazy. You won't see it on the auction house for very long. Trust me, I'm a cook and I sit there and I look for meat a lot of times, and it's very hard to find meat at a low price. So always put it at the max. You'll almost always sell it fairly quickly. Hit the confirm button and put it up there. I'm not going to put it up there because the other thing that you can do with the meat is use it in cooking. So you can also use it in cooking if you want to, and that's another. I have some videos on. I do have another video on making pet food that you can watch on how to actually use that meat to gain even more profit on this stuff. But what you'll notice is if you had that 150 meat times about 1,300, a little over 1,300, you're going to be getting about, off the auction house or off the marketplace, about 275,000 minus the cost, about 200,000 silver per half hour. So almost 400,000 per hour doing this. Granted, this means you do have energy to use the butcher knife to collect the meat, but if you do have the energy and you're not using it for anything else, this is a great simple way to make your first 100, 200,000 or million, if you have enough time and energy to spend in the game, to get you kind of a foothold and to get started. So that's really what this guide is about, just getting you that little bit of first money. It does help cooks out there, because when you place this meat on the auction house, that means we can buy it up for a certain price if we wanted to make, more pet food or whatever, if we don't have enough energy on our alts, to gather enough meat. So it is a great way to make a little bit of extra money just getting yourself started. And hopefully this helps you guys out, get a little bit of money when you're first getting started in the game. The other thing, briefly before I'm done, the other types of meat that you can collect are weasel, that sell really well. Are weasel, wolf, bear, fox. There's also sheep, pork. What I've found the best meat actually to get, if it's the easiest to get, I think, is probably wolf meat. It usually sells for a little bit higher price than fox meat, but it is a little bit further out of town to get, out of Heidel anyways, and it does sell a little bit slower because it is a little bit higher price. The fox meat I've found to be a very good item. If you try to sell it at that sweet spot, if you try to sell it at the maximum price, people almost always jump on that, because 1,300 is really not that much for a cook, because I can turn that one meat or 5 meat into pet food, which I can sell for 9,000. I could turn it into 4 or 5 pet foods that I can sell for 9,000 a piece, if I have the dough and the other items. So wolf meat is good if you have a little bit more time. Fox meat is perfect if you just want to put something in the auction house, make a few 100,000 silver, and be done with it. So that's my guide for today. Have a good one, guys.